What's up, guys? This is Richard Ong, founder and owner of Beyond Productions, and I am so excited to be here with you guys today for the very first episode of Beyond Talks. I'm currently joined with co-owner Jeffrey Jauregui and executive of the company, Steven Mannino. Guys, do you want to share your role in this company and what you're looking forward to in the future?
Hello, guys. Like you said, I'm Jeffrey, co-owner of Beyond Productions. Honestly, for the future, I'm just excited that like he likes to say a lot. The conversation left the EDR, and you guys will find out more about that as we go with the video. But I'm just excited to see what the future holds. Hoping this company makes it big.
I am the director, producer, writer of our upcoming projects, and I can't wait for the future as well, just like Jeffrey.
So, guys, Beyond Productions has officially been a company for a whole year. And with that being said, I thought for our first episode, it would be really cool to talk about the first thing we ever filmed as a company, officially with our name on it and everything. Before we start off with that, I just want to say a project that we didn't think was going to do any good whatsoever turned out to cultivate about 32,000 people in under a whole year. We were nominated twice for Best Actor, Best Use of Prop, and honestly, without these guys sitting in front of me right now, I don't know if I could have done it. So thank you to Jeffrey for even telling me about Las Vegas 40-Hour Film Festival, because I'm sure these guys have a lot to say about it. Guys, take it away.
So that, like Richard was saying, I was scrolling through when we first started. I would just send out advertisements to see with the original project we wanted to do, we thought we would had everything until we met this guy, and then this guy really, Steven, showed us it's not that easy. But I saw an ad for the 48 festival, and I'm like, oh, this would be cool to join, not knowing anything about it. And that's when I told Richard, I was like, let's read more into it and see what it is. And I'll even pay for it, because it was around $200, around there. 200, that's for the whole team, though. And with that, we read more about it. And basically, the 48 self-explanatory. You have 48 hours to film a short film, send it in. And if you win, you get to go to, the Cannes Film Festival?
Yeah.
That's when we got Steven into it. I mean, I feel like before we even talk about, the full 48, we should even mention how we got Steven onto that.
I actually, behind the camera, we have Taquan Rogers, an amazing cinematographer, photographer. This man is a jack of all trades. And I want to say almost 3 years ago now, I met him through a mutual friend. And we tried to, I guess, film what is now fragments of us. And I failed completely. I was rushing. I was about to have my daughter, and I told him I was going to film it on my phone. He said, don't do that. So I said, okay. And then later on, when I decided to kind of just scrap that whole thing, I met Jeffrey at Mandalay Bay, kind of just share with him what was going on. And he was like, I'll be your talent manager. I'll help you get into the room, because I shared I wanted to be an actor. And that's when from talent manager, he went to co-owner. And he had a very special message for me just a few weeks later.
And yeah, from there, I was posting ads on Facebook trying to get people to get in contact with us, and that's when we met Steven. Not saying we did start on a rough patch with Steven. We started on a very rough patch with Steven, and it was because of me. Because I would send every information to Richard, but we never found the time at the time. We had a job at Mandalay where it was part-time hours, so it wasn't a set schedule. You were working whenever they needed you, on call basically, and we never had the time to actually contact with Steven until Steven finally stepped foot and was like, if you guys don't get in contact with me, I'm gonna take it as you guys don't want to work with me. And then from there, that's when I told Richard, well, we have to set a meeting up with Steven. If not, we're gonna lose what it is now, a good director. Yes. He is one of the best directors.
This should be really good.
I had just moved to Vegas, actually, from graduating from film school in Florida. And I was looking for film work. I was working at a 9-to-5 job at the time, but I wanted to pursue my film career. And when Jeffrey contacted me through Facebook, I was excited. I wanted to meet with him, and it was, how long was it? Like a week or two or three?
2 to 3. It was almost a month.
Yeah.
It was a month. It was
Until
almost a month.
I finally pressured him into meeting with me because I was getting impatient, honestly. Anyway, I wanted to meet with them because I was looking for work and I wanted to pursue my film career. And I was inspired by the script that Richard had pitched to me because it was about his own personal life. And although it wasn't perfect, I told him that, reading the script, I mean, he just wanted to rush through it, honestly. No offense, Richard, but
No, none taken.
yeah, I told him, like, did he have a shot list yet? Did he told me he had a cinematographer, but did he know what shots he wanted? Did he have a script breakdown? Was he prepared to film this thing? And he had no idea what that was.
I had no idea.
So from there, I wanted to help him with it, in spite of all the work that needed to be done, because it's part of the filmmaking process. And that's when we decided to do the 48-hour film festival. And that's where we included one of our actors who is going to be in the film. And that's where we started networking with some of the other filmmakers, independent filmmakers in Las Vegas.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't want to talk too much about our film because that's for a later episode. When I approached Steven with this, I knew that making a feature film wouldn't be easy. And, I mean, I used to film stuff with my sister all the time, just like, playful videos, and then we would throw it up, no care in the world. And then now Jeffrey had brought me this. Basically, okay, we have 2 days to write a 5 to 7 minute short film and film it, and it's due Sunday night. I go, great, when's the kickoff event? Friday night. And I was like, oh, so that was really something, and it kind of reminded me of all the stuff that Taquan used to tell me about, like, we shouldn't do that because you want it to be, as good as possible, and now that it was a challenge for us, I was like, oh boy, let me hope that we can get this thing done.
And I feel like I brought it up to him because even I saw how he was rushing the whole process. So I wanted to put him in a situation where something is rushed and see how he would do. And I feel like after he was in the 48, he obviously was like, all right, Steven, let's actually work on this project that we really want to put out there. Like, let's take our time with it. Because, I mean, do you want to talk about the 48 now?
Yeah.
Do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what the 48 is, like I was coming back to what I was saying earlier, self-explanatory. You have 2 days, 2 to 3 days, right, around there. Well, I mean, not counting Friday because it starts on Friday, but that's the kickoff event where you choose one team leader to go get the genre, the requirements and genre of what you need. You can go as a team, but obviously the team has to stay outside, and obviously you can network with the other teams that are there, just to talk it out. But that night, it was around 5 p.m. I want to say. Yeah. He got to choose a genre. From there, we went straight to my house where we started writing. We started writing the script. Well, not us. It was Steven. Steven was the one writing it all.
It was a group effort.
It was a group effort. Steven doesn't like taking all the credit, but it was all Steven. It was all Steven.
Yes, it was.
It was all Steven. We all did pitch and ideas, but obviously Steven was the man to take the ideas and actually put it onto paper and make a whole script. But the next day, I could say I didn't get no sleep. Oh, I only slept for 30 minutes?
Yeah, maybe
30 minutes.
Max, yeah.
Because we stayed up until 4 in the morning, 4 or 5, and we were writing that script. As Steven ended up going home, everyone else, and then Richard slept over because we were like, we have to wake up in the morning. Let's just go do something. And me being the person I was, if I'm awake already, I'm not going to sleep. If I'm up at a certain hour, I'm not going to sleep just because I was excited. I'm not going to lie, I was excited. And so the next day we were running around. We had to go get Atlas, which is Atlas's daughter. We had to go pick her up from her mom's house because it was his day with her. And that 30-minute drive was the only time I slept. It was a 30-minute drive from my house to go pick up his daughter, and that's all I slept. And then I was just up and running around the whole day.
Mine was a lot because from being 10 years old and kind of registering myself to be an actor in that acting academy and having everything planned out, like this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing, and have me at least have time to drive from Vegas to LA to go to Warner Brothers or Disney and all that. so I had the preparation. Now you throw me in a thing where I only have 2 days to not only memorize a script I haven't ever seen before until that time you gave it to us finished. And, instead of having like I'm not calling you guys a team, but like a really big team that's like, okay, hairdressers, this, and then kind of just being in charge of everything, like having to talk to you, and run around Vegas practically finding the stuff we needed. It was a lot. And then I kind of pitched to Steven. I was like, I've always gone out for these comedies. Almost the whole 5 years I was with that agency and that management team, and I was like, this is something that I could maybe see myself starring in alongside Juliana. I know you might be watching this, and it was really good. And now for the actual filming, it was hard because I can really memorize a script pretty fast, no matter how long it is. It's a passion of mine to act. So, but when you're not only trying to memorize the script and be an actor, but also be everything else and be a dad at the same time, obviously first and foremost, it was a lot, and we were all exhausted, and I forgot my lines, which me and Steven did a episode of my podcast about it, and you guys got to see that.
We had a lot of funny bloopers.
But let me just say, working with Steven behind the scenes on any script or any pre-production stage is a lot different when you're being directed by him, because he has a lot to say and he writes scripts very specifically. And when you mess up, you feel really bad. But I was so tired. I was like, you know what? It's not that I didn't care, but I was like, dude, I'm tired. You see me? I'm exhausted.
And there's like with Steven, he's pitch perfect. Like I said, he doesn't like mess ups. But that's what I love about him, that we know if he's gonna have a session with their actors, he's gonna push them. Like he's gonna train them to their max. And obviously that's what let us know if you're a good actor or not, and if you'll be able to handle it, because Steven's not gonna calm down on you. He's not gonna care if you're having a mental breakdown, this and that. He's gonna tell you, get right and get back to work. Just because, like I said, he's a pitch perfect person and he wants his way. And that's what a good director is. Like he has that demeanor to make sure to push you and to make sure you get everything right. But how was your experience, Steven, on the 48?
Be gentle.
With me. What Jeffrey just said is technically true, yes. But like when I write a script, obviously working with actors, there's always room for improv. But when I write a script, I have a specific way of doing it. And, when I trust my actors, I always give them that wiggle room. And, you should be more lenient when you only have 2 days to film and write and edit a script. And especially with everyone being so tired and exhausted, we had multiple actors. And, Jeffrey's foot made a cameo in our
Hey, hold on, not just foot, his feet, both of them.
Both of them, yeah.
And shout out to our PR who's not here right now, but Yami also made her acting debut. That was really, really cool.
That's right. Even though she didn't have any lines, that's not to undermine her performance. She was fantastic.
Before I cut Steven off, can I just say, me, Jeffrey, and Yami have been friends for almost 2 years now, and we are not the most serious people at all. She had no lines at all, and it was maybe a 5 to 6 line like monologue thing, and I laughed every single take. A scene that could have taken 5 minutes to film took us approximately 10 to almost 20 minutes, and it was the last shot.
It was the last shot.
But continue, Steven. Sorry.
What was I saying? Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, you don't want to push them to the edge where they just quit. You only have 2 days to film this thing. It's you want to have fun while doing it, and it's a competition. You want to inspire, your other fellow filmmakers within the Vegas community. And I mean, that's ultimately what my goal was. I mean, obviously I wanted to win, and we did have Richard get nominated, as an actor. And we also got, as he mentioned before, was it best use of prop, correct?
Yes,
yeah, that was one of the requirements we had. And we really incorporated that into the story as to why you needed this specific type of prop. The premiere was actually very good. You know, we got to do a lot of networking. That's basically the goal is to network with a lot of people, because in real life you're not making a film in 2 days. It takes months, sometimes years to make a feature film, even a short film.
Yeah.
And we're also thinking about redoing the short film so we could do it, you know, right this time. We're not pressured for time, and that would be one of our upcoming projects in the future.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And like I said, we might have not won the 48, which obviously it sucks because, I mean, we had a good storyline. Everything was good, but obviously it was just the quality of the camera. But other than that, like he mentioned before,
It was a phone, wasn't it?
no, it was a photography camera.
That's right.
But like he mentioned before, the premiere was amazing because we showed up. Obviously, we're just gonna show up. It was like, they showed up. I showed up for the after party. And during the after party, we were surprised because we showed up not expecting our film to be showed during the party, and one of our films were put on the party, and it was just cool because it was like 5 to 6 films, and although we didn't even get nominated for best film, our film was still shown, so that just showed the quality that Steven has of writing, that it was put on like 3 screens to show to everybody. So that was cool. That was a cool experience that I got to witness.
Yeah, you know, and I think it was really cool too because where they held the after party was at the Millennial Fandom Bar, and me and you, we used to go down to, even Steven sometimes would go down to, you know, downtown Las Vegas for First Friday, or if we just wanted to, you know, have a good night. And I remember I think I was in the bathroom when they showed it, and their speakers were on, and I heard our movie start playing, and I was like, hold on a second. While I was taking a piss, I was like,
we were actually in the bathroom.
yeah, I was like, I was like, you were in the mirror.
We were in the. I was in the. He was taking a piss. You know, sorry to expose what you're doing. He was taking a pee. I was washing my hands, and then when I started hearing it, because they stopped the music, and that's when they started playing the short films, and that's when I heard Richard's voice, and I was like, wait. And then I heard Juliana's voice, and that's when Richard comes out. Are you hearing that? And I'm like, yeah. Are you hearing that? And then that's when we both ran outside, and as when we got to the audience, our film was being played, and now we were like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
This was at the premiere?
No, this is at the after party.
At the after
where
party.
where we met up, and we took those photos with
Oh, I don't remember that at all. Where was I?
You were there. You were there with us.
But
You were probably inside the actual.
yeah,
We were in the
remember
bathroom.
I had no idea what you're talking about.
No, yeah, but we were in the bathroom. It was me. I remember we went to go to the bathroom. Oh wait, that sounds weird. You know, we didn't do anything weird in the bathroom. You know, we just had to use the bathroom at the same time because there were like alcoholic beverages and we did break the seal, so we had to use the bathroom at the same time. But Steven was left outside, and what I like about that bar thing or that bar party was that one of the producers at the time for the 48 came up to us before everything even started, sat down with me, Steven, and Richard, and told us straight up, you guys have potential. And from there, I was like, I knew we were going to be good. But once he said that, it motivated me more to be like, we can do whatever we want and create something good. Because although our film didn't win, our short film didn't win, a producer from the 48 told us, you guys have potential, and was excited for the future and what we bring out.
Yeah, you know, when I first brought up this whole company as a whole to Jeffrey, it was a 1 hour lunch break. I was like, not a lot can happen in 1 hour. But as you can see from, you know, my being in my room, just filming stuff, your room, filming our old podcast, and now we're in a studio. What the heck is going on? Like, I knew it was naive to think like, yeah, we could do this. Like, you know, it was very naive, but you know, like Jeffrey was saying earlier, I really wanted to rush this because my biggest thing was I want my daughter to have something to watch. Like, this is what her dad is passionate about and all that stuff. But then I realized I was like, just be a dad, you know, like enjoy the time with her and all that stuff. And then obviously when you have your time, this is when you can work on this so that your daughter can be proud of you for two things, you being her dad and then you being able to have time for both. And also Steven helped me realize that, you know, sometimes taking time is the best thing to do. I think it took us almost a year to write fragments of us, and now we're in the pre-production stage, and it's a lot smoother now. The fact that we have time to do this is actually insane.
And like I said, yeah, like Richard mentioned, the next video, you obviously, you guys are getting lit with the cliffhanger, like, oh, what's fragments of us? You guys will find out more about that in the next episode. Before we started filming, Richard wanted to talk about it today, but I told him let's just make it its own episode because it's a lot to it. We can't just bring it up and then tie it in with what we're talking about today because it won't work out. So yes, you guys are left on the cliffhanger, but just know, and one of the next episodes that are coming out, you guys will be like, oh, this is what it is, and you guys will have more information on what Fragment of Us is.
Yeah, guys, and Beyond Talks really started when me and Jeffrey saw just how much time we were spending on making a film, and we were gonna have two other people host this show, but again, once he talked to me more about just be patient, take your time, we realized we have a lot more time now because everything me and Steven had to do together, and now that Jeffrey has a good scheduled job, he's able to be around more production stuff. I just wanted to know, like, when you're approached with what I approached you with, just like how scared I was to meet with Steven, because I was like, who's gonna want to film this movie about what the story is about? I was like, all right, who's going to be crazy enough to, be my right-hand man as I go through this passion of mine? What made you actually think about it and be like, know what? I just met you not even 2 months ago, but yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, at the time, I was working, like I said, it was an on-call job. It was the entertainment industry, and that's something that I grew up loving. I would watch YouTube. Still to this day, I still watch YouTube a lot. And I would always see people that inspire me, and I'm like, that would be cool to do one day, just have a camera and vlog, or like just show your personality out to the world, and if they like it, they like it. But once Richard told me his story and we were just talking, I was like, we could actually do something and make it great. And me at the time, I didn't have no passions. I mean, I had passion for music, but something happened in 2019 where my dad passed, and like I lost all hope for, like, I just wanted to just be where I was, work a job, and just live a normal life. But then that's when I met Richard, and then I saw how passionate he was about stuff, and I was like, it bounced off, and I was like, you're getting me excited for that I can turn my future around and make it better than it was back then. So I was like, all right, let's see what happens. It was just like, let's see what happens. We live in Vegas, where anything can happen. So it was like a lottery. I was like, if you win it, you win it. If we don't, we keep working. And basically, he gave me the idea, and I gave more into it. And then, like, he was talking about the EDR talk. We clicked, and we were like, we could really do something. You have passion, and I have the motivation to do it. And then we just tied that in together, where I gave him motivation to do things, and he gave me passion to do stuff. So that's why I told him I'm on to do anything that you want to do. Wait, pause. Not anything, but with the entertainment, I'm down to do anything because we just bounce off each other, and that's what I like.
And that's what makes really good partners, because there's the saying that goes, don't mix friends with business. But the thing is, to call Jeffrey a friend after everything we've been through is kind of like disrespectful. I really see you as my brother, so it's really a family thing, and me and Jeffrey have a really good working relationship. We have an even better out of work relationship, just like, me and Steven. So, and me and Taquan, it's like, yes, they may be my friends, but in the long run, they're family, because they're helping me with something, and by them helping me, I get to help them all out with what they want to achieve and accomplish, and that's really my main goal. So it's really exciting.
I have a question for Steven.
Okay.
I want Steven to talk, but when I first brought you the idea up, or when I said that, what made you reply to the ad that I post, and what made you reply to it, and also, like, when the communication was bad at the time, how did it really make you feel about the communication and just everything?
Let's see if I remember this. So, that was, it was, the lack of communication did concern me a little bit. And during the early stages of writing the script, which we'll bring up in the next episode, we did also have a lack of communication because, all the time, sometimes we were supposed to meet. Some of us didn't show up. Some of us did. Those people will remain anonymous, but I just want to go back to what you were saying, Richard, when you said you're a sensitive person. And I think that reflects, within your script, because the script is sensitive material. And we'll go into the next episode, but it is, when it comes down to its core, it's sensitive material. It really hits hard what you've been through, with your personal life, and it is a true story or based on a true story. And obviously there are things that we had to implement in the script to make it more cinematic, with the pacing and the story and everything. And going back to what you were saying before about being naive and like pursuing your dreams, I think it's important. That's not a mistake. I think it's important to do that. There's nothing wrong with being optimistic, but also be aware that, not everyone's dream can come true like automatically. You have to work for it. And that's what we've been doing this entire year with the script, making it I'm trying to make the script as perfect as possible, and, I'll never reach perfect, obviously, but it's just to inspire other people is what I strive for. And I think it's what you guys strive for. Making this story. And that's what I want to do as a filmmaker.
Yeah, I'm very grateful that I'm surrounded by all you guys, everyone in this room, and unfortunately people aren't able to join us today. But Jeffrey was telling me that he's glad that we weren't one-hit wonders with Crooked, because once you're a one-hit wonder, there's your 5 minutes of fame, and if you don't post anything like that again, or if you don't follow the certain trends, and no one's gonna care, because you're gonna be known for one thing and one thing only. And when we tell you, Crooked and Fragments of Us are two totally different films that, we really want people to really see Fragments of Us as a whole. And, Crooked was kind of this, I like to see it as like a building exercise, like how we all do as a company, because if we're going to work together in the future as a full-time thing, we all want to make sure that we can not take each other's heads off. But Steven, me and Jeffrey, more Jeffrey, when we started this, we were putting out a lot of listings. And I guess this is my question for you, but we would get a lot of responses back because, another great piece of advice that I got is we do live in Vegas. It's one of the entertainment capitals of the world. Mm-hmm. We have this variety of all these opportunities, and it's right in front of us. We just have to freaking grab it,
Just have to claim
exactly,
it.
Yeah. And we're obviously not going to drop names. That's I have no remorse towards them or anything, but one of the biggest questions we would get is how much? How much am I getting paid? How much is this? How much is that? And I understand, because obviously we're a business, we're a legit business, but my thing was, Jeffrey told me, what do you want on the listing? I go, I'm looking for almost somebody with zero experience. Someone that woke up one day and was like, I want to be an actor, but how? I used to be in auditions, and people outside Paramount Studios gate be like, oh, how'd you get in there? My daughter really wants to act, but, how did you get in? I was like, oh, I went through a management company. And that would break my heart sometimes. I was like, not that many people have that kind of money to pay every month, every year. So when you reached out to Jeffrey, why wasn't your first question like, what's the pay? Or like, what's the contract price that I'm signing on for if we do end up working together? Because we're nobodies. So
before I met you guys, I had just finished my first short film, Birthday Cake, and I had done my own producing for that. I raised the funds for it, auditioned actors. And I used my own house as my location. So it wasn't easy, trust me, but it was definitely easier than, putting on a whole feature film or using multiple locations. And I was already getting into the filmmaking experience, but I wasn't getting anywhere after that. I mean, I was doing my film festival circuit, submitting it to short film festivals, all of that, and I wasn't getting as much opportunities as I thought I would, and I didn't want to stop. I wanted to keep the momentum going. I wasn't really concerned with how much, I would be compensated, because you have to start somewhere, and I want to prove to you guys, to my audience, that I'm worth it. I know how much I'm gonna put into this, how much effort I'm gonna, because this is my passion, and I mean that's why that wasn't my main concern at the time. I wanted to work with you guys. I saw a script. I saw it had potential. It's not like it's a mystery. That it's just something I really wanted to do, and you didn't even have a budget for the script yet.
Exactly. I didn't even have a shot list.
Yes. That's as best as I could put it.
And that's the best answer we can get. I think one of the biggest people that reached out to us was one of the camera guys from Ghost Adventures, and I guess he has a studio out here. And me and Jeffrey were super stoked to have the first ever casting call, or just putting our name out there. And that's one of the first people. He sent us his whole resume, and I was like, oh my god! I was like, that's awesome. He was talking to us like, oh, we're filming this show right now, but I'll be in Vegas for a couple weeks. If you guys want to come on down, we can talk about, pricing, if you want to use my studio and all that. And I was like, that's awesome. And then every other day I text Jeffrey, what, did he text you back? Did he text you back? And he's like, no. I was like, oh, okay. And then the time that he did come, he was supposed to come, we never heard anything. And I was like, oh, man. And, I'm just glad that through all the failures we had to go through before we could even get words onto paper for this script, we were able to get past that. And then me and you definitely we had to obviously get to know each other before we could be on the same page for everything. But I'm really proud of where we are and what we've been able to do. So,
and yeah, we, like you said, we have a set team. We have good hands behind us, and just
literally, yeah. Taquan is legit right behind all these cameras right now. So
just look out for what we're gonna come out with. Look out for these podcasts that we're gonna be posting. Just look out for that big project that you guys will hear about next episode, because you guys are gonna like it. Topic, everything, that the genre, it's good, it's set. But do you guys have anything else?
All right, you guys, that concludes episode 1 of Beyond Talks. I just want to say to these 3 amazing guys, starting with Taquan, for giving us a space to use. Shout out to A1T Studios. You guys have been such an amazing company for us to be able to collab with. And these 2 amazing guys right here, Steven and Jeffrey, especially Jeffrey, you have always followed behind me on everything and have always supported me. And now Steven, from being scared to take up too much of your time, now you've signed on for another project. So guys, check out for this episode coming out Friday, and then the next one coming out 2 weeks after that. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe button down below, and comment what you want us to talk about next. But for now, that's episode 1 of Beyond Talks. Thanks for watching. Peace out.